back, friends. We are discussing the implications of the Supreme Court order which has stayed conviction of Rahul Gandhi in the Mahesh Modi defamation case. In fact, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP, but in his capacity as the counsel for Mahesh Modi, is joining us live. Very good afternoon to you, sir. First, our viewers would want to understand what were your arguments which the court listened to but did not agree, and what are the implications of this verdict insofar as Rahul Gandhi's membership is concerned? Membership of the Lok Sabha.
Okay. As far as the arguments are concerned, the court basically has granted a stay of conviction for the simple reason that the trial court, when giving the maximum sentence of 2 years to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, did not give adequate reasons. The court didn't justify it well enough for the court to uphold that maximum sentence. So they've stayed the conviction on the ground of the sentence, because the maximum sentence of 2 years is what has caused the disqualification for Rahul Gandhi, right? So in view of that, they have stayed the conviction so that Rahul Gandhi will cease to be disqualified. The conviction stands. When you stay a conviction, it means the man continues to be convicted. So today, Rahul Gandhi is a convict. All right, he has been convicted for the offence of defamation. Right. But both his conviction and his sentence have been suspended, right, till further consideration by the appellate court. Right. So the lower court stayed his sentence anyway, and now the Supreme Court stayed his conviction so that his disqualification will cease, right, until the appellate court, which is the Sessions Court in Gujarat, right, or Surat. Sessions Court in Surat upholds the conviction and upholds the sentence of 2 years, and if it does decide to impose the sentence of 2 years, it does so with very sound reasons. It's as simple as that.
Sir,
so Rahul Gandhi,
again, viewers would want to understand this technicality a bit. Right. Right, go ahead, sir.
Yes. No, what is the technicality you would like me to repeat? Tell me. On what aspect? On the stay.
Yes, sir.
The
so
stay of conviction doesn't mean that Rahul Gandhi ceases.
The magistrate's court. So my question is, the magistrate's court convicted Rahul Gandhi with 2-year punishment. He went in appeal before the first appellate court, which was the Sessions Court. Then it was rejected there. Rahul Gandhi went in appeal to the High Court. There it was rejected. Then Mr. Rahul Gandhi came to the Supreme Court. Now, how does the matter go back to the first appellate court? That's what I think the technicality viewers would want to understand.
Because Rahul Gandhi has appealed against both his conviction and his sentence, right? The Sessions Court, pending the appeal, pending the completion of the appeal or the disposal of the appeal, the Sessions Court, which is the appellate court, right, they stayed the sentence, but they didn't grant his plea to stay the conviction. He wanted the stay of conviction so his disqualification would cease. He could go back to Parliament, right? That the Sessions Court didn't do, which is the appellate court hearing the appeal from the conviction by the trial court. Then he went to the High Court in what is called a revision application. Not an appeal, but a revision application, right? Which has a narrower jurisdiction, a narrower scope. The High Court also rejected his stay of conviction application. So it came to the Supreme Court, right? Supreme Court today has said, right, that we are not going to the merits of the case, but on the question of this 2 years, right, we find that it is excessive, and that the High Court has not, and the Sessions Court has not given us reasons for us to believe that the 2-year sentence was justified. So they have stayed the conviction, because without staying the conviction, right, Rahul Gandhi continues to be disqualified.
Yeah, understood, sir. So basically, the magistrate's court convicted Rahul Gandhi and slapped the punishment of 2 years. The matter went in appeal before the Sessions Court, where the conviction is stayed, as in the conviction is stood, and the punishment was stayed, on which Rahul Gandhi made an appeal to the High Court and then to the Supreme Court, and the matter now goes back to the Sessions Court to hear the appeal against the conviction itself. That's where the arguments are going to take place now.
Against the conviction and the sentence, both.
Exactly, sir. So also, sir,
The conviction is that you are guilty of defamation.
You made a mention of the fact that Rahul Gandhi made that speech for 50 minutes, 50 long minutes. So there is clear case of intent in making those charges that Rahul Gandhi made, or making the that contention. Why you think the Supreme Court did not agree with that contention? Because that's substantive part of your argument, I believe.
Yes, but the Supreme Court said, the Supreme Court did not go into the ground. The Supreme Court didn't say that the conviction was bad. All right? Supreme Court has not said that. Supreme Court has stayed the conviction because the quantum of sentence was not supported by adequate reasons by the trial court. It's again, I'm saying, just focus on that. But the fact of defamation, according to me, the offense of defamation, right, is made out, and according to me, the conviction will be upheld by the Sessions Court, which is the appellate court to whom Rahul has appealed. I believe the conviction will stand. What the sentence will be, I don't know, right? But if the prosecution wants a sentence of 2 years, the maximum, right, they will have to give very good reasons, which the judge will have to accept for that sentence to stand, to come back to 2 years.
All right. So again, sir, so basically the matter goes to the Sessions Court. The Session Court hears the arguments again from both the sides. Of course, from the Rahul Gandhi side for quashing of the conviction itself and setting aside of the trial court order. From the side of Purnesh Modi, or from your side to uphold the conviction. In which case, sir, if the Sessions Court comes to a conclusion that indeed there is still a case for defamation and that the conviction stands, and if the Sessions Court gives cogent arguments and reasoning in support of the quantum of punishment, in that case, what are the options available then for Rahul Gandhi?
Then he can file a revision to the High Court, like he did before. And after the revision, he has again an option to go back to the Supreme Court.
So, sir, because it's been about 6 months, we are looking at the possibility of another 6 months passing. But in that period, perhaps because your own conclusion is that Rahul Gandhi's Lok Sabha membership stands reinstated or might get reinstated post today's order, which means pending the court process now, Rahul Gandhi can be an MP. Is that the suggestion?
That's not the suggestion, that's the law. I'm only telling you what the law is. The law is that when the Representation of People's Act disqualifies a member of parliament who is convicted for a sentence of 2 years or more. Not less than 2 years is the wording of the Representation of People Act. If you want to know the section, that's section 8.3. That is section 8.3. Okay? Now, if the conviction is stayed, which is the whole purpose of why Rahul Gandhi went all the way to the Supreme Court, he wanted the conviction to be stayed so that he could get back into parliament. Now, once the conviction is stayed, right, what does that mean? What is the effect of a conviction being stayed? It means that until such time as it is stayed, right, the disqualification will not apply. So unless the appellate court, which is the Sessions Court in Gujarat, convicts him and again puts a sentence of 2 years, right, then Rahul Gandhi will continue to be an MP. Now, the Sessions Court and the High Court of Gujarat and the Supreme Court have both expedited the matter. So I don't know how soon it will get over. But the fact of the matter is, as of today, Rahul Gandhi's conviction and sentence are both stayed. Yes. So he can go back to parliament, but he still continues to be a convict. He still continues to be convicted, but only the consequences of his conviction and his sentence of 2 years are postponed till the appeal is finally decided.
Right, sir. So I'm just trying to piece together the possibilities going into the future. The matter goes back to the Sessions Court,
Yes.
possibly maybe next week or
Yes.
whenever Rahul Gandhi approaches
Yes.
the Sessions Court, which obviously the Congress party would want to do at the soonest. The Sessions Court, like it did the last time, heard the matter over a period of a month or so.
I'm not so sure
and
about
then
that.
gives a verdict,
I'm not so
which means...
Abhishek, I'm not so sure that
No,
having
sir,
got the
I'm-
stay
I'm
of
just-
conviction of the Supreme Court, that Rahul Gandhi will be. Listen to me. That Rahul Gandhi will be in a terrible hurry to go to the Sessions Court again. We have asked for
Oh,
expedition.
you mean to say that given the
The
possibility
expedition
that...
has been asked
Understood,
by
sir.
us.
So what you're suggesting is that now that Rahul Gandhi is going to be reinstated as member of the Lok Sabha, the Congress party might not be in a hurry to go back to the Sessions Court and look for a review of the entire thing.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But they may surprise us all. They may go. I don't know. But there's no hurry for them to go back to the Sessions Court. Right.
If you were Rahul Gandhi's legal advisor, I'm just sort of flipping the hats. If you were Rahul Gandhi's legal advisor, what would be your suggestion? What would be your advice?
I'm not Rahul Gandhi's legal advisor, and I don't ever foresee myself as being Rahul Gandhi's legal advisor. So it's an exercise which I find far too difficult to get into and trouble myself. I don't know. My only advice to Rahul Gandhi, gratuitous advice, would be that be a little more careful about what you say in public. You've already been admonished twice. Once by the Supreme Court, right? When you said that when you put words in the mouth of the Supreme Court and you were admonished, there was a contempt of court, and you are actually a convict in that case, but you have an admonition. You have an admonition by the Supreme Court and a word of caution to be careful in future, right? Now, in fact, the Supreme Court today said that if Rahul Gandhi had that judgment earlier, he might not have uttered the words which he uttered against the Modi community, all people with the name surname, because he had been cautioned. But the caution came on 14 November after he made the speech on 13th April of 2019. But we used it as a ground.
Right.
And so has the
since you
Sessions Court.
represent
The Sessions Court has said.
Yeah.
So my advice to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, if I were to give him any advice at all, not legal, is that he should really be careful, and that he's got away twice with the caution. Third time, he won't be that lucky.
Right. And my last question to you, sir, your legal advice to Mr. Purnesh Modi, whom you were representing, like, are there options available to Mr. Purnesh Modi as well?
Yes, to move the Sessions Court for the disposal of the appeal. Both the High Court and today the Supreme Court have expedited the appeal. So to move it as fast as possible and finish it. There are only 9 witnesses in the case. The case should not take more than 2-3 weeks to argue, and this is an appeal. There's no trial. There's no cross-examination. You have to refer to the record in the trial court and say that the conviction stands and make out a case for whatever sentence you propose, you wish him to have in this case, and hope that the Sessions Court accepts your sentence suggestions.
So there is all likelihood, sir, that in next 2 months things might overturn again.
Yes, distinct possibility that in the next 2 months things might overturn again. That is, if both the conviction and the 2-year sentence are upheld by the Sessions Court. But the Sessions Court, at least on the question of sentence, will have to give
Thank you so much,
better reasons than were given by the trial court.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and giving that very comprehensive perspective on the Supreme Court order today, which has made possible Rahul Gandhi's return to the Lok Sabha as member from Wayanad. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, there, senior lawyer, Rajya Sabha MP, And he, in fact, represented Purnesh Modi, the
Thank you.
complainant, in the case before the topmost court of the country. Thank you so much for joining us.